Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? This is DavidMeni, the Samoan Watchman, and it's good to be back, guys. I know I've been really busy, and I'm so sorry about that. With the new work schedule and everything, there's only a few days that I really have any kind of time to do any kind of editing or going live. I know going live used to be my number one uh, form of, well, just putting out content. But since I've got little spaces in between other events, looks like I'm going to be doing more edited videos, and if you want to call it that, just pretty much recording little pieces and then putting it together to make a final video. So here's my attempt at that. But yeah, I've been meaning to put out this video for gosh, a month. It's finally raining again. It's finally fall here in Southern California. It's long overdue. I've been working East Coast time and dealing with a lot of East Coast clients at my job, and everybody's talking about the weather. It's getting cold. Everybody's buying up jackets and things, and I'm like, damn, I wish it would get cold over here, but it took a while. It took a while for the West Coast to cool down. But you might hear it right now. There's a bunch of lightning and thunder outside. It's raining on and off, and it hits my roof pretty hard, so you might hear it. And the thunder is pretty crazy tonight. Anyways, I hope you guys all been well. Hope everybody's blessed. God has been so good to me, and just maneuvering everything in my life to, well, He's been answering my prayers, and I'm in a good place right now. I'm very happy, very satisfied with uh, my blessings, and just the way things are working right now. Life is good. Not gonna say it's easy. I mean, I'm dealing with some crap. You know what I mean? But um, I never lose faith. And I'm a pretty tough skinned individual, and physically, my health is kind of like uh, things, just under attack. Let's say that the levels of uric acid are pretty crazy. I got an attack in my hand. Look at it. It's all. I can hardly hold my hand up. It's can barely do anything with my hand. It's too much, a lot of pain in my wrist, and it's my right side. It's my shoulder, and then there's my feet, and so pretty crazy. Anyway, I think it's an attack on people to keep them down, because there's just nothing you can do once you get to that arthritic stage, and it's severe. It's you're pretty much uh, you ain't gonna be in no physical battlefield, pretty much. Let's just say that. And so I gotta utilize this. This is my weapon, um, and also my shield to help people. And so we continue our journey here as the Watchman. As my channel is the Samoan Watchman, which, by the way, new things are coming to the channel. I am going to be transferring all my focus and energy onto the backup channel, which I haven't gotten a name for it yet. It's probably going to be the Samoan Watchman 2. But for now, I just named it the Big Guy, and I'm gonna leave links in our descriptions here for all of our videos, so you guys can start. If you guys could please do me a favor and start moving over to that channel, because I need things to stay up on this channel. If you see that there's so many, I got like 700 videos, that's because this channel was not designed to be what I use it for now. It was for something else, and then it was for something else, and then something else, and now it's the Watchman channel. So if you guys can do me a favor, move everything over. I'm going to be leaving links to my other platforms, and I haven't been able to put any videos up to other platforms. Like, I'm on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch, and the reason why is because my computer broke and I still haven't fixed it, which that's going to be fixed soon. And looking to get some new equipment too. I've already moved my desk. As you can see, my setting is different today, and that's because we rearranged everything. So lots of changes. But yes, please do me a favor. If you are subscribed to my channel, subscribe to the Big Guy, which is my backup channel, and I will eventually rename it to the Samoan Watchman 2. Not sure when, but if you can help me out with the transition and moving over there, because that's going to be the majority of my focus. And I think I explained the reason why I'm in another channel. I mean, another video. But today I want to talk about something crazy that happened, and it has to do with weather manipulation. And if you aren't aware, you should know that the weather is manipulated, and the people that are manipulating it have already admitted to it. And a lot of people looked at people like me who, point to everything. I have a skunk underneath my room, and he's just like making all this kind of noise. I don't know if you can hear it. And then I got water coming down the water drain, which is right outside this wall, which is paper thin, by the way. So you're probably hearing all of that, which is cool. Today's topic is about water. So if you hear water dripping down the storm drain, I guess it fits. And so, yeah, I just thought about all that right now. Anyways, not going to edit any of that out. Just going to go with it. So yeah, it's raining right now, and the skunk underneath my room is going crazy. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the last time that it rained, which was last month. We had one rain for about 2 hours, and it was pretty crazy because I went outside to, well, first thing is first. So we spent a lot of time driving our vehicles, which we have a lot of trucks in front of the house. We got about 6 or 7 cars, and some of them were not being used at all throughout the whole summer. They just sat there, collected dust. Some of them have been used and they still collected dust, but nobody, and it just happened to be this one particular time where nobody had washed their cars. So my wife was like, "Can you go wash the truck?" She had a SUV. I was like, "Sure." So I go down there, and when I wash the car, I like to do the whole detailing, and well, not the detailing, the actual detailing business. They're a ripoff. But I do it myself. I did the wash, the air dry, spot free rinse, wiped it down, vacuumed, and did the whole Rain-X, and tire and rim clear. I mean, I did the whole thing, and I did it really nice. So my wife was really happy with it. She got to drive to work in a nice car. Next day comes home, and it rained that day. All right. And I go out there. It rained throughout the day, a couple hours. And when you have your car sitting out there, because a lot of people know that, you got your car sitting out there for the summertime, and you get all this dust on it, and then it rains just a little bit. It leaves all these brown spots, right? All this muck and dried up mud all over the body of the car and the windows of the car. So now you have to go to the car wash unless it's going to rain some more, and then that'll wash all that off. But even still, it's not going to be enough to clean off all that dirt. You still need to go and wash your car. So what happened was it rained for a couple of hours, and so now it's like, all right, well, now we got to go out there and clean the cars, because now you got all this muck on it, right? And that's not good, because then when the sun comes out and it's still hot, which it was hot again, it is California, and so when it got hot, that'll cake on that dirt onto your paint, and that just ruins it. And I remember my first job, I was detailing cars, and there's just some things you can't do. Once you let those sunspots sit there and get all dried up in the sun, it just bakes into the cake or the clear, actually the clear coats. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but anyways, yeah. So I went out there after it rained, and I noticed that there was all these mud spots, dirt spots, sunspots, whatever you want to call it. The dust that had settled on the vehicles, and then the rain came out for a couple of hours, so it barely got it wet. And then the sun came out and dried all that up and evaporated the water out of the mud. And so it leaves behind this residue. And I noticed that, all of our trucks that were sitting out there all summer long, I have all this caked on dirt and stuff all over the place. And so that's going to ruin the car, right? And it looks all ugly. And I was laughing about it with my wife, like, damn, it rained, but we just washed our car last night. What a waste, right? Because we went to the premium package and everything. So we go out there, and I look at our car. It's got the same spots as all the other vehicles, right? And so let me stop here and so we can play the video. saw in that video, um, this was a few weeks ago, and again, cars were all dirty, except for my wife's everyday driver, right? And so she wanted a clean car. When cleaned it nice, and had it air dried and wiped down and everything. And so what happens is rain came for a couple of hours, dried up, and then that night, after a hot day, after rain, after a long time of not having rain and all that dirt and dust settling on the car, leaving behind that muck, that mud, it dried up and left behind that residue. But why is it that the vehicles that have been sitting there collecting all that dust are just as muddy and filthy as the car that was just washed with that Rain-X stuff that's supposed to let the water run off of it, right? It didn't do a very good job, I'll tell you that. But they both had similar residue. Yes, the dirty cars had a little bit more, but the clean car, now, it was just pretty bad. I don't know if you saw the spots. So the black car is an example. The black SUV is a car that was dirty, and then we got that rain, right, for a little bit. The white car, you see all our trucks out there, they all have the same residue. But then the white car that I was focused on, that car was the one that was just washed. But yet it still had that residue. So that dirt was not from dust that settled on the body of that vehicle. No, that came down with the rain. That came down with the water. And then after it rained, the sun came, dried up all the rain. Right? And then, I remember how it was taught very well in school. It's evaporation. The sun comes out, dries up the water molecules, the H2 and the O, right? And takes the water out of the, that body of water. The H2O is evaporated out of it, turns into vapor, goes back into the atmosphere as vapors, then collects and becomes clouds and the whole nine, right? What we've been taught in school. And what's left behind as residue is anything that's foreign to H2O, which means anything that wasn't part of the H2O compound. All right, I remember doing the experiments, and I remember having to go home, put salt and water, and I remember my mom helping me out with the experiment. She would read the instructions, and she did it. What's going on here? And not in the middle of my recording. Come on. So she had to follow the instructions. I remember it was a half sheet of paper. It was either white or baby blue. And she was kind of irritated, but she helped me out. And she did it with me. She made a pot of water with salt, and she let that evaporate. And then what was left behind was the salt residue, and the water, H2O, evaporated out of the compound, right? The salty water. And so it was a demonstration to me, and it was a very impressed memory, because I remember the details of our apartment and where she left the pot. She left it outside on the balcony, in the corner of our balcony, to dry off in the sun. And I remember that very well. And I haven't thought about that, for years. I wasn't even going to use that story in this video, but here it is. This memory came up. Damn, I haven't thought about that since I was a child. It's crazy how that works. Anyway, so yeah, I remember how evaporation was taught to us, that everything that is left in the water, whatever materials, whatever solids, whatever that wasn't part of the H2O compound, H2O got evaporated out and everything else was left behind. So here we have this water that came from the sky onto a clean vehicle, and it dried off because the sun was very hot that day, the day after it rained, and it dried off all the water and left behind all this residue. So where did that stuff come from? It wasn't from the dirty cars. It looks like it. Those dirty cars have, the similar stuff on there, but you can say that was dirt from the dust that settled onto the vehicle as it sat there. But where did all that residue come from onto my clean vehicle? It came down with the rain. And so, where did the rain get it? Now is the question. Now you all know that, you know, the way they taught weather manipulation was cloud seeding. They would spray chemicals out in the sky and cloud seed, create clouds, create storms, create rain clouds and make it rain. These are the stories that they've released to us, and people in my community have been talking about the damn skywriters out there who are always up there practicing their skywriting, playing tic-tac-toe up in the sky, spraying all these foreign chemicals and metals into the air, right? So what I believe is that they're poisoning us, and they're putting some weird foreign materials up there that don't belong up there. And that rain that came down was, it was sort of a gift. I don't know. I think they made it rain, but when we found all that residue in that water after that water evaporated, and it was proof, it was proof that they're putting something up there, something that doesn't belong. Because from what I was taught is that the cleanest water in the world that you could ever get was rainwater. That's what I was taught. And that's because during evaporation, it's sort of like the best way of filtering water. Having pure water evaporate from the ground or from wherever the water's sitting. The vapors come up and it doesn't take anything with it. And it goes up and becomes the cleanest water you could ever find. And it would fall from the sky. It was cleaner than anything that you could find on the earth, on the ground, up in mountains, in the streams. And I've drank water out of springs. That was, oh my goodness, I remember camp in 5th grade, and we hiked out all the way to this spring to drink water coming out of this rock, which was amazing. And it was collected into this bowl that had all this green stuff in it, but like this vegetation. It was this weird stuff, and they said just drink from the top of it. Don't touch the great. The boulders were about 1.5 stories tall, maybe like 15 feet or so. And there was a crack down the middle, and out came this water, and it collected into the rock formed a natural sort of fountain, and it collected right there and then run off down into a stream, and that was a stream, and the water came out of this rock, which is, it's an amazing story in itself. Like, where does this water coming from? So yeah, we hiked all the way out there to the stream, and I remember drinking out of that little pool of water in the middle of this boulder, and that was the best water you could ever get. That was the best water I've ever tasted in my life. It was sort of sweet. Oh my goodness, it was just an amazing thing. I wish I knew where that spot was. I think that camp is closed down now, but I would love to go out there and hike out to that spot and drink that water again. Anyways, they said that the water that came from the rain, this is what was taught to me, was the cleanest. So what's going on now? Now that the skywriters are up there playing tic-tac-toe like crazy and spraying stuff into the air, what does that tell us? That they're just blatantly filling the skies with all these things. And it's so heavy that it's coming down with the rainwater. And what does that say about, everything that it touches? What does it say about the plants, right? Plants, the vegetation that we have, our crops. What does it say about the animals who are drinking this water that collects onto the ground, right? Because that is now going into our reservoirs, it's going into our ponds, it's going into all the bodies of water that contain life or help sustain life. All right, so now all that water is getting filled up with this crazy stuff that's coming out of the sky. And we all know that there's strange rains out there. There's weird look at the strangest rains. You'll see all kinds of crazy stuff: blood, fish, all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, now we got this muddy residue stuff. I wish I could have collected it that day. It's raining right now. There's a big thunderstorm, so maybe tomorrow I'll go take a look, or whenever it clears up, I'll go look and see if there's anything left on these vehicles, like this residue. But anyway, I saw that one day, and I took a little video of it, that little clip of me walking around our driveway and checking out this stuff. And yeah, all these questions started forming in my mind, like what is coming down with this stuff, and then what does it tell you about us? Like, we're breathing in this stuff all the time, and now the water is bringing it down out of the sky, sort of filtering the air. I don't know. These are just my thoughts on that. But yes, I just wanted to make a quick video to say what's in the water. And water is something that has become weaponized and also becoming rationed. We've moved away from learning how to find water that can sustain our lives and our agriculture. We've become dependent. A lot of us, the source of water that we get is tap and bottled. And I saw some crazy stuff with bottled water the other day. Brother Ed Hand sent me with finding the this strange black goo out of the water, bottled water. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, we were taught and we have been conditioned to depend on the water that they bottle. Where are they getting this water? How are they cleaning this water? How are they filtering it? Most of us don't know. Most of us don't give a damn. Most of us don't question it because we're just so used to just going out there and getting it and calling it clean because it's been labeled as clean water. So there's that. Anyways, think for yourself, you guys. Continue to ask questions. Question everything. It's not stupid if you ask questions. Asking questions helps to open doorways. Asking questions helps to protect you and your family. And if you gave a damn, you'd ask questions. And so that's what we do here. Follow me on here, you guys. And please help me by following me on my secondary channel, my backup channel, which I hope to transform into my primary channel, where I'll be focusing on my content there as I'm really slow to create content anyway, but it's all going to be going there. That's all my focus is going to be. Excuse the noise in the back. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are blessed. And I still try to pop into the chats whenever I can to, communicate with you all and check up on you guys. And I hope you guys are doing good. All right. Thanks for everybody for showing support to the channel. Thanks for everybody tuning in on Sundays when we broadcast church. And, I appreciate you guys being there. The love and support I feel from you guys is amazing. I'm going to try to do some more content like this. If there's anything that you want me to cover, please let me know. I'm getting some requests for covering more Mandela effects, and I definitely want to go into that. There's a big one coming up from Kirk Franklin. And so, Big Damon gospel music. And, yeah, he's a clown, y'all. Anyway, I love hanging out with you guys in the chat. And if I offend anybody, I don't mean to be. I'm not that kind of guy, but I love to crack jokes with you all. Y'all been fun. You guys been making life tolerable, and it's a beautiful thing. Love you guys. Peace. I'll see you guys in the chats.